of a lesson about how your body works, and then mixed in with that are all these other things to do with feelings and the mind and energy and all sorts of different things that you can do to help look after yourself. And there's kind of four strands really. One is the physical, which, you know, I mentioned that. We've said about food, exercise, and food and water, what we're taking in, and exercise, and breathing, and resting and relaxation. These are all things that are key for the body. Another strand is the emotional, mental, and another strand is the energetic or spiritual. So they're all sort of blended in. And then the fourth thing is the thing about thinking about more the environment, like the global and environmental situation, and that includes thinking about how we're living and our relationships with other people and our societies. And some of that is a bit tricky, isn't it? Because we're in a bit of a mess. You know, most people know that we're in a bit of a mess, but there's a lot of things we can do to improve it. And I think that they're related. I think that there's a big relationship. It's like how we are. If we become more balanced, then we create more balance around us, and that helps the world to become, because the world is made of a lot of us. So it's a sort of mixture. But sometimes we need to do something, you know, that's thinking about environmental something to really thrive. To really thrive, we kind of need a healthy environment. So I don't know. I've got a lot of stuff, but I don't want to go on too much. So I want to decide what to talk about. Yeah, food. I found this great. There's a really nice book which is about how to eat, and it's called Eat Food, Mostly Plants, Not Too Much, or maybe it's called Eat Food, Not Too Much, Mostly Plants. And that's the fundamental bit of advice, you know, that you need for your diet. So you're going to eat food. Now that means food as opposed to Cheerios or I don't know, like things that are made in processed, heavily processed things full of a massive. If you look at a packet and you see all those chemicals, that is not food. That's poison. So eat food rather than things that aren't food, and not too much, because overeating is not good for you. Overeating creates stress and problems for the body. And mostly plants, because whether you're vegetarian or not vegetarian, if you don't eat a lot of plants, you will not live as long. It's really simple. And there's many, many studies. I'm sure I've quoted some of them in here. There's a whole list of references if you want to look for them that show, you know, vegetarians and vegans actually live longer as a rule than people that eat a lot of animal products. But I don't think it's only because of eating the animal products. I think it's because not eating enough plants. You know, you have to eat, because that's the thing, is you've got to eat a lot of plants, basically. That's the advice on food. And then exercise. I was very pleased, because I like a bit of exercise, but you know, and I was very pleased to discover that it's much better to exercise in moderation, than to overdo it. And I was interested by this because. So where am I? Because. Yeah, okay, I'm going to read a bit from my book. Exercise is essential for health, but don't overdo it. Hooray. Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine advise moderation when it comes to exercise. Both specify that exercise that makes you sweat profusely weakens your energy and should be generally avoided, contrary to the idea of no pain, no gain. Although there's a little footnote, which is that the Ayurvedic doctors, I've discussed this with them, and they told me that the ancient Vedic advice to stop exercising when the chest begins to perspire, or soon after. But that came from a time when people's everyday life were quite active, you know. So in today's sedentary lifestyle, you know, we do need to perhaps work a bit harder on exercise routines. But it's really good to think, oh, how interesting. Both of them, Ayurveda and Chinese medicine, they both studied longevity, right? Living a long time, and they studied it for a couple of thousand years, right? And this is one of their key bits of advice: don't exercise till you sweat lots. Quite interesting, because it's like the opposite of what we do, isn't it? Anyway, right. Anyway, scientific observation has confirmed the knowledge of the ancients Too much exercise is as harmful as no exercise. A Danish study found that the healthiest exercises ran slowly or moderately, not fast, less than 3 times a week for between 1 and 2.25 hours. And more than that was a disadvantage in the longevity stakes. Not running at all was also likely to kill you younger. However, enough exercise is surprisingly closer to less than more. The best exercise, if you can get it, I think, this is my opinion now, obviously not the stuff in the books, my opinion, but is walking or a little bit of running outside in nature. Actually, when we live in, those of us that live in Llangollen, we don't really need to even run that much because almost anywhere you walk, you're going to go uphill, and that sort of really does a cardiovascular thing. And outside in nature also gives you your connection with nature. So like a daily walk for at least 20 minutes and ideally an hour is a good thing to aim for. And then some stretching or other form of exercise. And I think the best kind of exercise is something that gives you joy, like dancing, or I don't know, I quite like Zumba because the teachers, when they're doing Zumba, I don't know if you've ever done it, but they always smile inanely like this. I think they have to. So it just makes you laugh while you're trying to do all these daft things and the person is grinning all over their face at you. And then you get some laughing, which is extremely good for you. Laughing increases the blood flow to the heart by 18% or something, having a good laugh. It's like, why not do that instead of, I don't know, whatever drugs they're dishing out these days. We've also got to drink enough water. So that the book goes on about water, but I think I'm going to miss that. I think most people know that we need to drink more water than we generally do. And there's good explanations about why that is and how it does need to be water, not just the water that's in other things. We do need a certain amount of actual water. And then a really key thing that we need is rest and relaxation and to look at our stress levels, which is a big challenge. So there's a lot of stuff in this book about what stress means, like what it means when we are stressed. And basically, because our bodies are like, they've been around for a long time. Hang on. Should be in bed. Resting. So they're designed, like we're designed, the stress response, the brain decides something stressful and it switches on our stress response. And that is designed to basically make us to deal with a kind of physical danger. We're designed to fight, to run away, or maybe to play dead. That's our stress response. And it doesn't matter if your stress means, I don't know, you're stuck in a traffic jam or you're sat in a boring talk and you're too polite to leave, and the person just won't stop. Or I don't know, you're at home with kids and it's really, you love them, but we shouldn't be isolated with children. It's impossible. It's impossible to do it without being stressed. Or you're a child yourself and you're at school and it's really stressful, or you've got a stressful job. Very few opportunities for punching somebody in our world, or for running away, right? Very few. Come in. Don't be stressed about being late. Just come in, get a seat. Hi Elvis. Nice to see you. Hi, darling. So, I've done quite well till now with coffee. So, no matter what the cause of the stress is, we've only got one way to react to it in our bodies. That's how we're made. One way. You can come further in if you want. There's a couple of seats over here, if it's not too cold over there. Yeah, go ahead. No, I've got one. Thanks. Will I be able to talk? Yeah, go on then. I'll get them now. Oh, sorry. Okay, so stress, it's a big thing. It's a thing that's killing us, and it's really not easy. So there's two aspects. Obviously, it's great if we can cut down things that are stressful, but often we can't, can we? When you are stuck in your job or your whatever at home with the kids, or too much work as well. Overwork is the norm in our culture. And then we've got all the stress that comes from our own internal shenanigans that we get up to with our mind, but which I'll come to in a minute. But I just want to say there's a lot of things in this book about stress, and the one I want to read you is, in our brains we've got this, it's called the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight system. There's an opposite one, which is the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the one that we rest and relax and repair. And you can think of it like the fight or flight is when you're spending money on your credit card, and the sympathetic, the rest repose is when you're saving money. Now, if you never save any money, what happens? You get into trouble, don't you? You get into big debt, and that is what happens with us with our energy. We don't get to relax. So switching on, there are many ways to switch on the parasympathetic nervous system. And some people, you'll have heard of like the vagus nerve, a lot of stuff on the internet about the vagus nerve, isn't there? That means, switching on your vagus nerve means switching on your parasympathetic nervous system. It's the same thing. So there's a lot of ways, we're going to do some. So one of them is deep breathing. Here's a great thing. If we're relaxed, our breathing automatically gets slower and deeper. But here's the great thing. If we deliberately breathe slowly and deeply, it switches the brain into the relaxation mode. It's kind of giving, it's not just, the brain isn't in charge of the body only. There's a two-way relationship. That's the thing. I'm going to be dribbling now eating this thing. Oh, am I? Lucky you're sitting quite far back. That reminds me of seeing, what's it, Dame Edna Everage.
Les Patterson.
Yeah.
Oh
my God. And the people in the front row were just sprayed with his...
Yes, the cultural touching.
Oh, yeah. Very good if you ever get to see him.
That's all right.
Anyway, so slow, deep breathing, and there's many exercises, different ways to do that. But you can just slowly breathe. You know, breathe in through your nose, breathe out either through your nose or your mouth. Slowly switches on your parasympathetic nervous system. Humming. This is nice. Let's have a go. Like on, people like on, don't they? That hum, that vibration, you can feel it in your body. You shut your eyes and you hum, you can feel it. You can feel it vibrating, can't you, throughout your whole body, your own hum. That is really relaxing and healthy for you. Actually, talking and singing are also the same. Using your vocal cords, vibrating your vocal cords. So talking to yourself, it's not a terrible idea. Talking to each other, it's not a terrible idea. Growling, here's a good one. Let's have a growl. You know what? If you're scared, right? If you're scared, try doing a little bit of growling. I mean, I don't necessarily mean at anybody to scare them, although that might sometimes be appropriate. But actually, if you're a bit scared, you've got to do something, you're a bit scared, seriously try a bit of a growl. Yeah. Washing your face in cold water, splashing your face in cold water. That's Anna told me something about this to do with. It's all different. But it's to do with if you fell in. I guess you're going to drown or something. You fall in the cold water face first. You need to relax so you can think. You don't want to go into too much panic, otherwise you might drown. So, but you can just splash if you're really like you notice. Oh my God, I've got adrenaline coursing through my body. You know, I'm stressed. Splash your face with cold water. It's quite a good. Obviously relaxing. So there's a lot of muscle relaxation techniques throughout this book. Heart-centered breathing. Let's have a little go at that. Now this is a great one. This is one where you basically you sit and you breathe and you imagine that you're breathing. The air is going in and out through the centre of your chest. And you breathe, you try to do it, so you breathe in, you aim to breathe in to the count of 5 and out to the count of 5, something like that. So you're breathing in and out like that. Heart-centered breathing. It straight away lowers your attention down into your body and a little bit away from your mind and helps to switch on the parasympathetic nervous system. Actually, the breathing out, in and out through resistance like this. Or you can even put your hand in front of your mouth and that can really relax you as well. You can feel it's relaxing. People are relaxing. You can feel actually, no, I've got a theory about smoking about this, because one of the reasons it's relaxing, I mean, it's an addiction and etc., but it's also, it makes you breathe in this way that switches on your parasympathetic nervous system and makes your brain release endorphins, which are your own sort of one of your happy hormones. Breathing. Come in, grab a chair, don't be shy.
Maybe we can smoke some herbs.
Yeah, oh, not me, it'll make me ill. Being in nature, we come in a bit further because it's cold back there. There's chairs up here, you know. You're welcome. Look, there's a couple of spaces there. Stroking a pet. I mean, probably if you hate pets, it wouldn't work. But if you like them, it's very relaxing. People have done research on this. This shows how nuts we are. The kind of thing we have to do research to prove that it's relaxing. It's like, right, and then regular yoga nidra. Yoga nidra is really a kind of relaxation. It's a kind of, there's exercises in here that show you what it is. You might have done it in yoga. Meditation practice. Actually, really loads of interesting research. Even 10 minutes a day of simple meditation after like a couple of months, really changes people's minds, the way that the mind is working. And then, feeling goodwill towards yourself and others. You know, that it might seem a bit obvious, but actually it's like, I'm talking about ways that switch on your parasympathetic nervous system. So feeling goodwill, generating feelings of goodwill towards others and yourself, which is our theme of self-love. And then the last one on this list is improving your gut flora. Because actually, now this is a really random one, isn't it? But actually, if you've got unhealthy, you've got loads of bacteria living in your gut, you've got like a little garden in your gut. And you can either have a garden that's full of sort of old bedspreads and, metal and a few sort of bit of bindweed, or maybe a complete waste ground of nothing, chemical warfare or something. Or you can have this lovely flourishing, sort of rainforest type of garden with the healthy bacteria. So and there's a lot of stuff in here as well about how to garden your gut, how to look after because if you haven't got healthy bacteria in your gut, your body takes that as a reason to be stressed. So making it better lowers down your stress levels, because it's highly involved with your immune system and also your brain functioning, the functioning of your gut. Right, let me see, how am I doing? I think I planned a bit too much, but I want to decide what to do with the last thing. So that's the body. That's a bit of stuff about the body, and the stress thing obviously is also for the mind. They're obviously they're like that, aren't they? The mind and the body are like that. Actually, other systems, don't separate the mind and the body in quite the same way that the Western one does. Like they just don't. It's all seen as part of the thing. So I want to talk a little bit about the caring for our mind, our emotional, mental well-being, health. So there's obviously the stress thing is key, but the other thing that's really key is that we need to look after our emotions. And this is the thing, like I said earlier, we are living you may not even realise how emotionally repressed our culture is, but it really is so repressed that it's, it's sometimes hard to know where to start, within. And emotional suppression creates sickness in the body and in the spirit. But if you're not into the spirit, you don't have to worry about that. Creates sickness in the mind and the body, emotional suppression. So we've got to somehow get the hang of connecting with ourselves. Sometimes we don't even know how we're feeling. And actually the roots of this are in our culture, because from when we're very tiny, and we make any kind of noise, we're shut up. If we're lucky, it's with a boob, right? But if we're not, or a dummy, or being jiggled, or taken out for a drive endlessly, or I don't know, we try to cry or express ourselves and we're just told to stop. And then when we're a bit older, we start to say something about how we feel, which is often, we're not just saying, oh, I feel, we're showing it, and we're told, oh, don't be silly. We might be scared when we're little. Don't be silly, you're not scared. Oh, there's nothing to be scared of. Oh, so now you're scared, and now you get to feel bad about yourself, because really you shouldn't feel scared because you're daft to feel scared. So you can see. And these are things, or every time any young person cries, oh, they're tired. Oh, you're tired. I mean, how many times have you heard that? Oh, you must be tired. Well, actually, you know, if you're tired and you're completely relaxed, you just go to sleep. If you cry, it's not because you're tired. It might be, but if you're not just going to sleep, it means you needed a little cry before you went to sleep. You know, to get rid of the feelings, to get the feelings out. So we need to get the hang of somehow reconnecting with ourselves so we can know how we feel. And that heart-centered breathing, you know, can do that. That's a good one. I think I haven't got time to do all the things. I don't know. Maybe I could because you're my captive audience, aren't you? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just have a go.